So I can go next to the next slide.
Okay, Chloe,
Yeah, thanks.
You do have a question. I didn't know if you wanted to answer it before we went to the next slide, because I believe.
Yeah, I would like to. Sure.
Okay. David has a question. He says, does this presume that business and IT have been integrated?
Business and IT are integrated? This is the question, right?
Yes, that is the question that was put in the chat box.
Okay, so business and IT are not necessarily integrated, but I can detail that on how we can make cross-functional teams, whether business and IT. For example, business teams are working necessarily to express their requirement to IT teams. This is a case of study, but not necessarily can work on the same team. So this, I'm talking about cross-functional teams. So we can see it in the schema on the slide 5, if you want, and it shows how we can interact between different disciplines and organize tribes, and how we can interact between, for example, business or IT or finance, and any other department in the company. Yeah. So yeah, is there any other questions?
So far, no. That's the only one that we had.
Okay, great. So
can I follow up with that?
Yeah, sure.
It seems to me that the biggest problem that we have in agility is still having two separate sides of the house, being business and IT, separate leadership, still separate management teams, etc. It seems to me when we look at the agile model of collapsing IT and business together in the teams, that we are a lot more effective. And that's why I put that question out there, because it seems to me that the quality and speed would actually increase if the two organizations became one. Communication is one of the biggest things that would be improve how we move forward. So that's just the reason why I put that there. So maybe think about that in the future when you can consider this, but I do think that's a big leap. So that's my FYI. Thanks.
Yeah, I agree on that point, because communication is very essential on agile organization, and communication, we cannot leave it like happen spontaneously, since we should organize that, we should have a structure, we should have a right process to drive communication through the company to keep it on the most efficient way. And if I understand the question.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. I will go with that. Thank you.
Okay,
Merci.
Great. Okay, so I will go through this slide when actually we see that the tribe map is like trying to give an example how we can organize tribes through the company, and how we can have cross-functional disciplines, cross-unit discipline, and how we can group it. Just a random example, but we can have more specific example according to each context, each company. And for example, we have here like different cells. We can have we can specify by tribes here, whether by expertise, whether by functional expertise, HR, finance, etc. And we have like here the displays crossing the different tribes, and we have also here the rest of organization, traditional department, project, and vice versa. So, for example, here we have different cells. For example, self-managing cells, and flow to work cell, and specialist cell. This is kind of example how we can compose our tribes and identify the different cells according to our needs. It's not very specific, but just to give an idea about how we can organize two tribes and do cross-functional teams.